We got it recording? Okay. Okay, so this is just a continuation of our last call. We're going to just be going over some highlights. We may go back and forth and be a little bit random here, but we're going to just give you some really great highlights that I actually starred all through my notes. I starred things that I really wanted to tell you guys, and Jayla did too. So we're going to just kind of go here. The first thing is make as many mistakes as you possibly can. When you sign up to be in this business, everybody's so scared they're going to say the wrong thing. They're scared they're going to make a wrong move, contact the wrong person, train somebody wrong, tell somebody the wrong product to take. You cannot make too many mistakes. Make as many mistakes as you possibly can, because what you're doing each time you make a mistake is you're learning from that. And that's so important, to learn from your mistakes. So the learning is in the doing. And so I have so many people that sign up and they want to learn everything before they start working. And that's not the name of this game. In Plexus and probably network marketing in general, it's learn as you earn. And so that is so important, because you guys, even if you're not that type of person, you're going to have people sign up on your team that are that type of person. And you have to tell them, you can make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. You made mistakes in your job. You made your mistakes when you were in college. You have to make mistakes in order to learn. And so don't be afraid of making the mistakes. That the learning is in the doing. And so get out there and just, replicate, duplicate whatever you can and learn from other people. Eric said, he said he learned from his mentors. He had people that he listened to all the time. And Eric always talks about that, you're the sum of the 5 people that you're around the most. And so, if your income is $50,000 a year, chances are you're not going to have the opportunity to be around millionaires that you can learn from and be inspired by. And that's fine. What you can do is you can listen to people that are successful, not necessarily even money, but just education wise and self-growth wise, and wherever it is that you want to be in your life. Those are the quality people that you need to be around. Eventually you'll earn your way into spending time with people who are at a different level than you are. But if you want to grow out of the level that you're in right now, you have to surround yourself with people that are at the level that you want to be. And the way you do that is if you don't have people in your life, sidelines, uplines, downlines, whatever, that are at the level you want to be, then you've got to find people to surround yourself with. So, if, for instance, this is a whole different way of looking at it, but if you're looking at it being a stronger Christian per se, you're going to want to be around people that are really strong Christians, because that's going to get you into that action. That's going to get you studying your Bible every day. If that's your goal, then you need to be around people like that. If your goal is to be a $100,000 a year earner, then you need to be around people that also have those goals and who are working to get to that level. So if you don't have people in your life like that, you've got to listen to mentors. You've got to listen. You got to get on YouTube and follow diamonds that are sharing videos on YouTube. Melissa Eichenhorst, Sarah Marble, Sonia Dudley, all the different Eric Worre, Bob Heilig, all the different network marketing people. You have to surround yourself. And that Eric said that's what he did. He would just play. He said he had a cassette tape and he would just play over and over and over again. Jim Rohn and who else did he say? A lot of the different
Robbins,
Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, all the different ones. And so he surrounded himself with people that were at the level that he wanted to be at. And then he also said, to serve people, that you can be around people longer if you be of some kind of service. And he talked about being of service to people a lot, whether that was your customers, people who were in your upline, people who are in your downline, people who are in your sidelines, just being of service to people. I was talking about this one guy, and he was talking about, the more people that the more people, if you're 40 and over, what a Rolodex is. And that's, where you have people's addresses in this rolling thing that now we all have in our phone. But he says the people with the most business cards in their Rolodex wins, meaning the more people that you talk to, the more people that those are the people that are the most successful. So the more people you talk to, the more successful you're going to be. So you have to get around people and ask them, what can I do for you? And be genuine about it. What kind of service can I provide to you? How can I help you? Like Jayla was saying, your hairdresser, maybe you've talked to her about plexus and she doesn't seem interested. Say to her, what can I do to help your business grow? I've got my own business. I know how it feels. I need people to help me network. What can I do to help you? Could I post my new hairstyle on Facebook and tag you in it? They would love that. If you're a service to people over and over again, that relationship is going to grow, and they're going to like you and they're going to trust you. He talked about how
All right, guys, hang on. I'm trying to bring them back on again. Okay, give us a minute. All right, Jana, you got it.
sorry, this internet keeps kicking us off and then wouldn't let us back in. What were you saying? Okay.
I completely lost
the next, I don't know how far I got on that one, but inviting people to events, he always talks about that, and he talked about this again, how important it is to invite people to events. You could run your whole business just by inviting people to calls, just by inviting people to watch a video. There's so many videos on YouTube and different things. Our company video, our triplex, I send that triplex people video to people all the time in private messages and just say, hey, would you watch this video about our best-selling combo and tell me what you think? Using the tools is so important, especially when you're not sure what you're saying is the right thing yet. Use the tools that we have in our back office. Send those shareables to people in a private message.
He told one story, and this kind of goes along with everything we've been talking about, but he told this story about he used to look at people, and he had two people in his life that they were his pastors. And when he was in the business, he looked at them and he was like, oh, no, they won't do that. They don't have the time. They don't have the finances, the effort, whatever. So he prejudged those two people and counted them out. Well, one of the people, the lady was there, and he asked her, he said, how big of a mistake did I make by prejudging and counting you out and never sharing with you? $40 million. A $40 million mistake by not sharing his story and the products he had and trying to serve her. He just automatically assumed that it wasn't for her for whatever reason.
They were in the ministry.
Yeah, they were in the ministry, and the lady signed up so many people and wound up having a $40 million career. That is a huge mistake.
Yeah, and he was funny when he said that. But one thing I really like that he said is he wrote it on a piece of paper on the whiteboard thing, and he said, this is where people really make a mistake when they sign up a new distributor. He said that they say, I will help you build your business. And he said, this is where punctuation matters. He said, and he put a period after, I will help, period, you build your business. So setting those expectations when somebody signs up that you're not going to do all the work, that I will help, I'm here for you, but you're going to build your business. This is your business. I'm here to help you build your business, but you're going to be the one to build it. And that is, y'all, that is huge, because I have, you know, he said, if you don't do that, you're going to create a team of people that expect you to do everything. And if you set the expectations right up front that you are going to help them, you're going to give them the tools that they need, they're not going to be like babies coming back and going, hey, you know what? I don't know how to do this. Where's this? What's that? You know, giving them the tools, but letting them know, you know, I'm not going to run your business for you. You're going to run your business, but I'm here to help. And if you set that up right at the beginning, it makes a huge difference. The other thing he said that I loved is he said to talk to people about long-term vision, but with short-term urgency. So when somebody signs up, you know, here's your vision. You know, you want to be a diamond, you want to be emerald, you want to be a sapphire, whatever it is. Maybe you want to be a senior ruby, whatever income level you want to be at. That's your long-term vision. So you know you're not going to get there overnight. You've got some work to do to get there. But the way you're going to get there is with short-term urgency. And I thought that was really good, because it gives people the idea that it's not going to happen overnight. It's okay if it takes a little time. But if you don't say the short-term urgency part, they don't understand that to get there, you have to work. So I love that.
And in that, he was talking about it takes time. You have to give it effort. It's not magic beans. It's not just going to happen overnight. And never stop learning. You know, we all have something we can learn every single day. And we want to be professional. He said, starting today, you show up, you suit up, you shine up, you show up like it's your first day on the job every single day. You make that effort to, he said, most people decide to start this business. They pay their join fee, their $34.95. And the very first day, I'm tired. I'm going to take a day off. I'll do this tomorrow. I'll have time tomorrow. I'll do this later. And they don't start off on the right foot. They already start off with the mentality of half effort. And that's just, it's worth it. You can go so far. It's very worth it, but it does take effort and time.
One thing I like that he said is that not everyone will make it to the top rank in your company, but anyone can. And I think that's really important for all of us to understand, is that there are personalities just like you. There are people that had the same amount of time that you had. There are people that worked 3 jobs. There are people that had 8 kids, one that had 12 kids. There are people that have many, many more reasons not to do it than you have, that have gotten to the top rank. And so that's really important. I think you should write that down, that not everyone will make it to the top rank, but anyone can. Okay, we talked about time management, treating it like a job, deciding how many, this was huge, deciding how many hours a week that you're willing to work in order to make this happen, and treating those hours like a job and not just like a hobby. You know, at a job, you wouldn't say, oh, you know what, the Game of Thrones is on, so I need to go, you know, watch that, but my coworkers can take over from here. You would never do that. You're on the clock. So if you set the hours up, these are the hours that I'm going to work, and do the work during that time, you'll be a lot more successful. And I think that was his biggest time management tip. And also, this is one thing that he said that I thought that I've never ever heard before. He said, you know, studying time is extra. So if you're going to work an hour a day, or if you're going to work 30 minutes a day, your self-growth time is in addition to that. So on Thursdays, your hour of working is not our team call. Our team call is really important, and I really want you to be on our team call, but it's not your income producing activity time for Thursday. That has to be a separate time. So studying is extra. It needs to be done, but it has to be extra. The other thing he said was your calendar is your boss. So if you pull out your calendar, he said, I can tell anyone their success future by looking at their calendar. If their calendar is full of appointments, if their calendar is full of people they're going to reach out to or have reached out to or people they're following up with, that person's going to be successful. If their calendar is empty, they're not going to be successful. Your calendar is your boss. And he always tells people, and I've heard him say this many, many, many times, when people come to him or came to him when he was in network marketing and they said, you know, I'm really just discouraged. I'm not where I want to be. You know, my team's not growing. My team's not doing anything. I can't get any customers. The first thing he always says is, show me your calendar. You know, and that's one of those ouch, you know, that's one of those ouch moments because you're like, ooh, you know, my calendar is kind of empty, you know. And it's like most of us aren't really great with making those appointments and putting them into your calendar. Agree with that? Because I've seen your calendar. It's pretty full.
We were talking about my calendar this morning, and, you know, we all have so many other things that come up and things we have to shuffle around, but we all have to be a little bit efficient at plugging in those extra minutes here and there just to get things done. Just like if you're trying to cook dinner and you're trying to, well, the good analogy he had was balancing the plates, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about something else with that as well. But, you know, when you have all these plates going, you somehow find a way to keep them all going. You make the time to make sure you're not dropping anything. So just make it a priority that you're not going to drop the ball on this either.
Yeah, and he talked about, you know, in your time that you're working, when you're not counting your studying hours, but you're counting things that are going to bring you income. And he said the things that are going to bring you income are inviting people to look at our opportunity or our products, inviting people, following up with those people, getting people started, and working with your team on getting them going, getting customers on that. And it's duplication.
And it was so good because he talked about that is a activity to produce income. It's not B activity, it's A income activity. And he said, when you're blocking your time, he said the easiest thing is to just block things in 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. If you can block for hours and devote that time and stick to it, great, wonderful. But most people can't. Most people, our attention spans are so short that we get started doing something over here and there's 25 things going over here that need our attention too. He said, so do your blocks, your schedule, your time management in 15-minute increments, and you'll be much more effective, much more productive, and get more things done.
I loved what he said about setting goals. He kept giving us challenges and setting goals. And one thing he said was, I want you to challenge yourself to tell your story. We talked about our story in the other call, the 4 steps. He said, I want you to tell your story 100 times in the next 30 days. And he said, that sounds really high, but he said, you know, you can tell your friends, you can tell your mom, you can tell your kids, but you have to tell your story 100 times. And what that's going to do is you're going to get really proficient telling your story. You're going to get a lot of self-confidence and belief in your story, and you're not going to be nervous about sharing it anymore. He said, you know, I can guarantee you he said this, I can guarantee you if you tell your story 100 times in the next 30 days, you will see results. What do you got next?
We talked about the getting your first customers in the other call. He talked about adding, he called them distributors. We all know we're ambassadors. It's the same type of person, just a different name. Every company has a different name for that. But he talked about that you wanted to add your ambassadors, make you a list. You know, we talk a lot about making lists and emptying our mind and getting those people. He talked about something called the Ultimate Memory Jogger that helps you create your Frank's list. That's a really good tool. You can find it out there on, just Google it, the Ultimate Memory Jogger. But he said, go ahead and sit down and make that list of 10 to 20 people right away that you think about. If you have to pull out your phone and go through and look at the last 10 people you called, the last 10 people you texted, the last 10 people, whatever, get those people get their name on paper and categorize them. You know, would they be ambitious? Do they want more in their life? Are they entrepreneurial? Are they competitive? Are they dissatisfied with something in their life now? Are they money motivated? He had lots of different things he talked about. Would they like to work with us? Would they be a good fit for your team? And then would they be someone that could go very far? Would they be very successful?
people that look up to you, people that admire you, people that are competitive, people who are dissatisfied with their job or their life or their health, people that are money motivated, people that are nonconformist, people that like to do something different than other people. Like Jayla said, people that would want to work with you, you would want to work with them.
Yeah.
And rank them from the easiest to the hardest. So if you have a list of people like this, he said, rank them from, this would be the easiest person for me to talk to because I already know them really well. I'd be really comfortable to talk to this person. On down, this would be the hardest. And start with the easiest and tell your story. Send them your video of the triplex, ask them what they liked about it, and just talk about the products. Once you start talking about it, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah. And he talked a lot about taking action. Don't let events pass you by. The team calls, don't miss out on those. You get so much from the culture of being together. You need to associate with others, make friends, be at the events, be at the convention. He said that is the most important thing that you could possibly do for yourself and your business is be at the conventions. You're going to have validation that you've made great choices. You're going to learn more. You're still in that learning process. You're going to be around like-minded people. And I can tell you, just being at this event, it was a lot of involvement for us to be here at this Eric Worre live training, but it was very eye-opening to be in a room of over 1,000 other like-minded people. We were the only people from Plexus here. There were so many other distributors, other companies represented there. And Jana and I talked about this a lot the last couple of days, is that is mind-blowing that there are so many other people that are positive, encouraging, and like-minded like us. We can't be doing something wrong because the proof is in the numbers of people who are successful and who are doing this. I mean, you just don't want to miss out on the events. And it's true. Leaders are born at events.
It does. And it brings you so much belief.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're like super excited right now to go home and get more people involved with this because we know how exciting it is. I mean, there were people there that had never sponsored one person, and then there were people that were making 7 figures.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was pretty amazing. But he talked about how to never run out of prospects. A lot of us, think, oh, well, I don't know anybody. I don't know any more people. And this is kind of how he said. He says, if you don't have any skills in finding people, it's going to equal high anxiety. So you need to get your skills together as to what you're looking for and how to find people. And so he said this is the difference between posers, amateurs, and pros. So posers, when they come on, they make a mental list. They think, oh, probably my brother might be interested in this, and, maybe my cousin Jean, maybe they'll, they just have this mental list, but they run out real quick.
And they don't write it down.
They don't write it down. Amateurs have a written list, but they drain their list really fast. And the first people that tell them no, then they're done with it. And they don't know what else to do. They're like, I'm out of people. But the pros have a written list, and their list is consistently growing. So they're adding people to this list all the time. He gave us so many ways to add to your list, but it needs to be an active list that's growing and growing and growing.
He was talking about, he mentioned a lot of books and a lot of things you can read. So there's a lot of, I'm probably going to compile a book list.
Yeah, we probably should do
that.
that.
He mentioned, because there's a lot. But he had, I don't know if you guys have ever read Beach Money, but he had Jordan Adler come on, and he was talking about just a lot of ways to keep growing your list and the relationships. And Eric Worre talked about Harvey McKay's book, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. And he said one of the best ways to do that is you need to be the most connected person on earth. And Jordan Adler talks about that a lot as well. He says collect just as many business cards as you can. You want to know just as many people as you can. And his tip was you need to be adding your friends every day, adding to that list, adding to that memory jogger, adding to Facebook, adding to your contacts. Go on Facebook and add 3 or 4 people every single day. Friends of friends. And I know a lot of people, they do that, and they're very successful. So it's all about how many people you know.
Yeah, he talked about looking at yourself as a consultant. And I think that's one thing that I know I do when I'm talking to somebody who's asking about the products, I become a consultant. Like, I immediately just start asking them questions. And people love to talk about themselves. So immediately they start liking you because you're interested in them and you're wanting to know. People love to talk about their ailments. So you ask them, what kind of health problems do you have? What kind of medications are you taking now? Keep asking those questions and making suggestions on what they can do. If you feel like you're not qualified to do that, get your sponsor involved, get somebody in your upline involved that can help you, because you'll learn while they're helping you. So you can put somebody in a 3-way chat with your sponsor. We talk about that a lot. Not a lot of people use that, but it's such a good thing to get somebody else that already knows a lot about. If you're new and you don't know a lot about the products, you really don't know what to recommend, get somebody that does know involved, or just ask them. I have a lot of my ambassadors will come and say, I have somebody that wants to lose 10 pounds, but they also do this and that. And then, I'll help them by recommending. And then next time, then they know.
I loved what he said about being the consultant, because he said, with any, I'm kind of a consultant, and what you do when you consult is people come to you for a solution, and that's what our customers do. They're coming to us for a solution. So we want to listen to what they have to say, assess the situation to make sure that we know for sure what's going on, ask questions to verify what they're saying, to make sure we know what they're talking about. And then we make recommendations. That's exactly what we're doing in Plexus. We are coaches, consultants. We're trying to help people feel better.
And use your tools. This is where you go into your back office and you go to your tools and you look at your multimedia library and you send them a video on the triplex if they want to know what's the triplex, what's the best thing that you can recommend to me. Send them the triplex and say, this is going to help your gut. You can learn all about the triplex in your back office, or any of our products for that matter. And I think that the more, you don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but the more time you spend learning about our products, the more belief you have in them, the more knowledge, and then you become self-confident about talking about the products. I think that's really important. Follow what works for your company is one thing he said that I really, took to heart. And that's really important, because what me and Jayla were talking about is that, Plexus is a lot different than a lot of the people that were represented there. Plexus is a lot different in the way that we do things. We're a lot more, we sell to and share with our friends and family a lot more than other people. In fact, he asked for people in the room that had sponsored more than 100 people, and the people personally sponsored. And he asked, he was making the point that most of the people are people that you don't even know yet. These are people that you're going to meet. And he said, how many people have you sponsored that you knew before you got into your company? And most of them were shockingly 3 to 4 people out of 100, which is completely different than Plexus, because I can tell you that almost every person that I've sponsored has been somebody I knew before Plexus. So I think for one thing, that's a huge benefit to our company. That means that what we're selling is actually really working, and we're really passionate about our products. So the people that we love, they want to do this. They trust us. So I think that's really important to know, that you have to do what's working for your company. So another company may say, go out and do cold calls, but with Plexus, what works is sharing with our friends and family. And so we need to really hone in on that we are the diamonds in Plexus, we sponsor our friends and family, and those are the ones that go to work for us. And that, that creates relationships. And I think that's what creates the culture of our company and our teams, is that we sponsor our friends and family. And I was shocked about that. I really was shocked about that. And I was looking at Jayla like, what? They sponsored 100 people, and only 3 to 4 were people that they knew before they were in their company. That's so foreign to me.
Yeah.
That's not how we do it.
Well, and our culture is so much about, we're one Plexus, and we're all about building that relationship and getting closer to each other and helping each other. And it was really kind of shocking that other cultures are different too.
And then you talked about your mindset. You have to realize that you have a gift. And I do say this a lot on calls. We have a gift to give to other people. this product is life-changing. This opportunity is life-changing. If you really believe that, then people are going to come to you. They're going to be naturally drawn to you if you have the belief that you have a gift to give other people. He said to be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else, but be your best self. And if you don't like yourself yet, if you don't feel like that you have the confidence to be your best self, then model somebody else. He said when he was starting out, he had zero self-confidence. So he would watch people that were successful do their calls and do their, things and do their presentations and be at meetings. And I can tell you that really, without doing this on purpose, I have really done that in my career without really trying to do that. I go to every opportunity meeting that I possibly can. I don't care how many opportunity meetings I've heard. If I can hear one more person say it, it can maybe help me say it in a different way. It gives me more belief in what I'm doing. It helps me see that there's a lot of people here that believe the same thing as me. And that has really gotten me to the self-confidence level that I'm at sharing about this, because I've heard it so many times. And I've modeled things. I mean, I really have done that without really even thinking about it. I've modeled people that I watch, people that I've seen and how they say it. And I think that that's why it's so important to be on as many calls as you can, to go to as many events, even if it's not your own upline. Go to events that are in your local area, of opportunity events that Plexus people are doing, so that you can hear it one more time and you can get better at it.
Well, and you always hear something you've not heard before. And that's one thing Eric talked about a lot of times too, is when you're listening or doing these trainings on YouTube, and or reading the books, people think that they read through one time or they listen to it one time and you've got it. Oh, I'm good. And he said, no, you read through it or listen to it through one time, then come back and listen to it again, because you're going to get the real meat from it that second time around.
So believe in yourself. Here's the thing that he told us, you're here, you've signed up to be in a company that you're going to help other people with their health. You're helping other people with their finances. You're helping other people grow in their own self. I mean, that's something to be proud of right there. Just the fact that you signed up in a company that's all about other people. You're on a call right now where you're learning how to help other people. You should be proud of yourself. You should be saying, you know what, I'm in a giving, a very giving, heart-worthy industry that I'm helping other people. In almost everything I do, I'm helping somebody else. I'm on this call. Me and Jayla were sitting in this thing for 24 hours. We're doing it to help other people. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
That's something to be proud of, that you're willing to do whatever you can to help other people. Are you going to get paid? Yes. But you're also going to help other people in the process. Not very many people can say that in their jobs, that they're actually helping other people in their dreams, reach their dreams or reach their health goals.
Well, and how many people can say that they're putting forth all of this effort at their job and they're being compensated for it? This is with Plexus, with network marketing, this is something that truly you can be compensated for your efforts, no matter what you put in, whatever you choose, whether you're putting in all in or you're just, sticking your toes in the water a little bit. You can be rewarded for whatever your effort is. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much education or lack of education. It doesn't matter. We all put our pants on the same way. We all have the same opportunity. We all paid $34.95. We all start the same way.
And we were talking about objections earlier. Some people just need more time to understand what it is that they're objecting to. And so give people that benefit of the doubt. If somebody has an objection to what you're offering them, it's because they just don't know enough yet. And so I think that's really important. Okay.
He was talking about how to contact people. And I thought this was really interesting, because we all have a lot of different ways we want to talk to people, whether it's voicemail, whether it's texting, whether it's messenger or direct messaging, email, on the phone. We all want to talk to people in so many different ways. But if you're over 40, this is kind of a new thing for us, that in the past, we would pick up the phone and call people. We would go see them. We would send them an email. Well, he talked a lot about how in this day and age, the social world is connected differently. The best way, he said, to reach out to people and to connect with them is through a text message. He said so many people are screening their phone calls. So many people are not going to answer that phone when you call them. They're just going to let it go to voicemail, if they even have voicemail set up. Excuse me. He said, but however, if you send them a text message, our society has been trained that it's rude to not answer that text message right away. So he said the best way to reach out to people is through a text message. Right behind that is through an instant message like Facebook Messenger or Direct Messenger or something like that. He said email's not so good anymore. He said people, sometimes it goes to your junk folder, your spam folder. They don't even see it, or they may let it sit there and not read it. Their inbox is so overwhelmed with messages coming in. He said that's just not very effective. He said the best way, send them a text message.
Yeah, and he was talking about how when he was in network marketing, there wasn't texting, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't all this. And he was like, we had to put ads in the newspaper. We had to pick up the phone and actually call people we didn't know. He said, you have text messaging now. He said, it almost feels like we're cheating because it's so easy. And he said, you can send out 50 text messages in like a couple hours. Yeah. And he said, if you did that, if you actually committed to sending out 50 text messages, you would be so much further ahead than you are right now. Your calendar would be full.
Yeah. And he said it doesn't have to be like a long drawn out message. He said, just start out by saying, hey, how are you? And you're working on building that relationship. And so it's a starting point. And I thought it was brilliant. I mean, I really am excited because I'm going to try this.
It's not scary to send a text message. That's what he was saying. It's just not scary. Yeah. And then he talked about being a teacher. And even if you've just started, to start already learning how to teach people, because he said, he always says this, the person with the marker makes the most money. And that is so true. If you think about it, the person that's standing up at the front doing the meetings is the person that's making the most money. So learn to be a teacher, learn your story, learn the company story, practice it until it's perfect. And he says, if you will ask any teacher that's had to learn how to teach their students, that the teachers actually learn more than the students do. So if you learn how to be a teacher and teach other people all the stuff that you're learning, and I can tell you that is so true. Put Kelly Farrington, who's doing her own call right now.
All right, guys, hang on. I'm trying to get her back on. Hopefully we can get her back. Hang on one sec.
There with us, you guys. So what I was saying about Kelly, I don't know where I got, but Kelly has been listening to Bob Heilig every single day while she's at work, and she's just been letting it play, and she's educating herself. And I never like I'm completely shocked because I'm seeing this teacher, this entrepreneur person that she'll tell you herself that she had an employee mindset. When she started Plexus, she wanted me to hold her hand. She wanted me to tell her everything to say to anybody. She could not teach a call. She could not do anything without calling me. She's like on her way to a meeting going, I need you to tell me what to say. And I'd be like, Kelly, you got this. You've done it so many times. No, I need you to tell me. But ever since she's been educating herself and growing herself and learning and listening to that and surrounding herself with Bob Heilig, we call it Bob Heiligan now. So when I call her, she's like, oh, I'm just sitting here, Bob Heiligan. And she listens he has so many podcasts. And I'm telling you, she's going to do this. You watch her. She's going to do this. And she already has people on her team that are seeing this person in front of their eyes that's turning into the teacher with the marker. And she's a different person. You see her on live on Facebook, and she is different than she was before. I hear her on calls, and she learned how to be a teacher. And so that's what he was talking about. And I just have personally seen this on my own team just now. So I know this is true, that if you're nervous, you need to trick your mind with self-confidence, that, telling yourself, if you practice long enough, that are we still on?
Yeah.
That if you practice long enough, you'll get good at it.
He said, expect and don't project. He said, when people tell you an objection, act surprised, throw them off, because they're not expecting you to say, if somebody says, I don't have time, they're expecting you to say, oh, I know, it's okay, we can find time. You act surprised and say, really? You don't have time? That's shocking.
Yeah.
It was so funny. He did a role play with that, and it was really, really kind of interesting.
And he said, quit worrying so much about what other people think, because people are nice. People want to see you succeed. They're not going to sit there and go, oh, she's totally messing this up. People are forgiving. They understand, they're, one thing I liked what he said was, he talked about, if you're going to restart your business, maybe you haven't done your business in a while and you're going to restart your business, or maybe you found some level of success already with Plexus. Maybe you're silver or you're gold, and you've gone to people before on your list and they said no. And he said a great thing to say when you go back to them is say, hey, you know what? I know you said no to me the first time. I know you've seen me have some kind of success with this. I know you've seen me. I've already promoted. I'm already making an income with this. I'm coming back around to see if you want to be on this round of what I'm doing, because I'm doing this. I'm going forward with this.
You missed out on the first time.
You missed out the first time. I've got some success. I've got a team now, but it's not too late for you to do this with me now. And I love that. That was really, really great. Talked about belief, having belief into getting you wherever you want to go. He said to get belief, you need to be willing. We need a light.
Yeah,
starting to sunset. That's right. So he said the 3 belief sets that will get you to wherever you want to go is be willing to fail publicly and learn how to handle it. So whether that's on Facebook Live, whether that you're going to do a meeting and nobody shows up, whatever that is, be willing to fail publicly and be able to handle that. Be a collector of your own stories. I thought that was a really good one, because you need to think about, when you start telling your story, you're going to need stories. Like, the reason why I stayed with this company is because, it brought me the success. I talk about how I became a leader. I was very introverted. One of my stories is that when me and Rod were at church, I would tell them, if they call on me, you're going to talk, because I'm not talking. That's how much little self-esteem that I had and how shy and introverted I was before Plexus. And so he just says, collect the stories, think about in your mind things that you can have, to be able to tell stories with, because that's what people like to hear, stories. What caused you not to quit? Think about why you're still doing this. What caused you to do other things that other people won't? Why did you go to the convention when most people won't go to the convention? Why did you show up on this call when most people won't show up on this call? That's what gives you self-confidence to do what you need to do. Giving proper meaning to other people's opinion. So like be discerning of how you let other people's opinion affect what you're going to do. So, you know, other people's opinion doesn't really matter in your success long term. So taking the feedback of what other people say and being able to say, you know, how can I grow from this? But at the same time, I'm not going to let this affect me or stop me from where I'm going. And he talked about plan, do, and review. He said that's really, really important in anything in life that you want to succeed at. If you will do those three things, plan, do, and review. So plan what you're going to do it, and then review how you did it, what you could do better next time. If you do that every single day, plan, do, and review, you'll succeed at anything because you will improve at everything you do. So let's say you wanted to become a great public speaker. You're going to plan what you're going to say, you're going to go out and do it, and then you're going to review how did I do and how can I make that better? In anything you do, he said this one concept of plan, do, and review will help you get better. You got anything?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he talked about leaders, how you can be a good leader. He said that bad leaders are destroyed by crisis. And how you respond to a negative thing in your company, how you respond to a negative thing on your team will tell you if you're going to be a good leader or a bad leader. That bad leaders will freak out, you know, when the oh, we're good. Okay, good. Great leaders will learn from their mistakes. Great leaders will survive the crisis, and they'll be strong, and they'll lead their team right through it. Just like what's happening on this call tonight. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, we want to say cuss words when we're off, you know, but we just have to roll with it. You know, you guys, the ones that really want to do this are going to hang on no matter how many times we freeze up, because you know that we have stuff to bring you that's fresh on our mind. So you guys that are still on the call, and we know that, and to be good leaders, we have to survive that, even though it's frustrating.
And we have to we just fix it.
It's
just like with anything in life. If you have a flat tire, it doesn't serve you well to fall apart. Oh, my tire's flat. Oh, what am I going to do? I mean, if you spend more time worried about the flat tire than the solution, you're just spinning your wheels and you're not getting anywhere. It's the same thing with anything in life.
And he said, you know, when you're a leader, what is up to you as a leader? Your emotions are up to you. How you handle a situation is up to you. If you're slow to have an emotional response, I mean, I could just go right now, oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy. This is going to be crappy, this call. Nobody's going to like it. And, you know, there's all this froze up time and everything. You know, if I respond like that, you know, what's that going to do for everybody? That's just going to teach my whole team to freak out when there's a problem. You know, we don't want to do that. We want to respond with calm. You know, we want to be slow to an emotional response. And that's one thing he said, you know, if you're frustrated about something, don't go vent about it right there. You know, wait, go to sleep on it and think about how you can create a solution. You know, we're in control of our judgments. How are we going to judge a situation? How are we going to judge it? You know, and our creativity and getting over the problem. You know, my creativity right now is crap. You know, this call is, you know, it's not as good as it could be because we keep losing internet. But I'm going to make this about how to be a good leader. That's your creativity. You know, it's just like,
you just have to learn to roll.
You're in control of your attitude. You're in control of whether I'm going to have a good attitude about this crisis that's going on. Your perspective, you're in control of your perspective. You're in control of your desires. You're in control of your decisions. What are we going to do? How are we going to fix this? And you know what we can't control? We can't control anything else. We can control all those things that we just said, but we can't control anything else. And that's one thing we've got to realize, that there are some things we can't control as leaders, and then we just have to roll with it. Talked about procrastination. Talked about how procrastination is one thing that will stop us from getting our dreams, and most of us are procrastinators, and we've got to get over that. He talked about a really good book that's called Eat That Frog, and it's like when we make this these lists, and he said, who in here is a list maker? And of course, almost everybody raised their hand. That those things that stay on your list, and you move them from one list to another because they either take too long or they're just too hard, or, you just don't want to do them. And he said, procrastination does nothing for you except for it creates a little comfort in the time that you're doing the actual procrastination. And he said, if you want to get things done on a list, you pick from that one thing from that list, one hard thing from that list every day, and just eat that frog and just do it. Just do it, even if it's hard, and you'll feel so accomplished by overcoming that one thing that he said, normally when that happens, you'll get into this mode of, oh, well, if I cross that one off, I'm going to get the next one done. And it's so true. It's just like when, you want to start running or walking, and you say, I'm going to get on the treadmill. And if you say, I'm going to do it for an hour, you'll never do it. But if you say, let me just get on for 5 minutes, you get on for 5 minutes, you're going to stay on for longer. So just doing it a lot of times will get that momentum of getting stuff done. Getting yourself into motion is the main thing. He said, just get yourself in the motion. Make a deadline for yourself on these things that you're procrastinating. Tell the world that you're going to do it. So if you're going to, let's say you're going to go for gold this month, get on Facebook and say, hey, I'm going to a new level in my company this month. I'm going by the end of this month, I'm going gold. And I'm going to get a bonus, and I'm going to figure out how to do it because I just announced it to the world, and then you're going to go. He talked about how these things that he was training, these were things that he's been wanting to do for a really long time. And until he got a live studio audience like that he was committed to, he knew he was never going to do it. So he made the date, he put the obligation in. So let's say you wanted to have a team meeting for your team. You get that date. You put the money down on the place that you're going to rent that place, and the commitment's there. You start inviting people. Let's say you want to do a 7-day challenge group. You make the 7-day, you start inviting people to it. You tell your team about it. It's already a done deal. Now you have to do it. You're committed to it. He said one of the good books was Man's Search for Himself. Mm-hmm. He gave us like his favorite books during the times that he was talking about. He talked about competence. What are you confident in? How long did it take you to be an expert at that? Like I was talking to Rod earlier about how long did it take him to be, I have one of my friends, she said, I don't know how to be like you. When you're on these calls, you're so confident and like so much about the products, and how to be a leader, and it seems like whatever you're saying, like you seem to know way more than what I can't ever see myself doing what you do. And she's a dental assistant, and I said, okay, well, if you were going to give a seminar on how to clean teeth, how confident would you be in that? And she goes, oh, I can easily do that because I know everything about cleaning teeth. I'm like, well, that's why I can do this, because I know as much as I can possibly fit in my mind about doing network marketing and about our products and about our company, because I've spent time studying that, just like you spent time learning how to clean people's teeth, and now you're an expert at it. I became an expert at what I'm doing. And I can guarantee you that if you become an expert at this, you're going to make a whole lot more money, friends, time freedom, and happiness than you could in almost anything else you could invest your time in. So when you tell me I don't have time to do this business, I'm going to tell you that's not a very smart decision, because if you're making time for other things in your life that aren't going to bring you what this has brought you, you're missing out. You're so missing out on things that you could help other people do this too.
And, like we were saying earlier, it's still, you have the same hours in the day. You're going to be doing something with those hours. Why not do something that could be better for you and your family? I mean, it's sometimes a no-brainer, I think. And we get wrapped up in, and he talked about, we get wrapped up in, we know what to do. We just choose not to. Just like the people who chose to not be in the call tonight, or the people who chose to do something else. They had other things to do. That's a choice. They know that being on these calls is part of our team culture and learning. They just knew it wasn't their priority today, or maybe they had something else going on, or those people who can't be on, that's a different story. There's a recorded version. They can watch that later, but do they? You know,
Right.
how many people go back and
Not
watch?
very many. And if you do things that other people won't do, you're going to be way far ahead of what the rest of the crowd is doing. I mean, you know, there's maybe 150-ish diamonds right now. The reason why there's 150 diamonds and 400,000 ambassadors is because the diamond ambassadors did things that other people wouldn't do. And that's what Eric said. They're not even hard things.
Mm-mm.
They're not even hard things. They're just consistent things. They're things that we did. We got out of our comfort zone more. And that's sometimes hard, but a lot of the things we do are really not hard. Like he said, anybody can do it, but not everybody will, because we are in our own decision. This is all a choice. I don't have to be in Vegas right now. Jayla doesn't have to be in Vegas right now. We're choosing to do this to learn more, but not very many people are going to do it.
No.
I mean, we're the only ones from Plexus here, so obviously we're doing something other people won't do.
Our husbands and our children are at home, and we miss them, but we know for our businesses and for our friends and you guys, this is an opportunity for us to learn and share, and it's an opportunity for us to serve you. You know, was it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yeah. Yeah.
So he said to write this down. This will probably be the last thing we say, but he said to write this down. Your self-worth, you know, one, and this is what you need to write down so that you can see it every day. Your self-worth, you know, one, I am worthy. You're worthy of this. Why am I worthy of this, but you're not worthy of this? That doesn't make any sense. God created us all equal. It does not matter what your color, age, personality, you know, whatever. You're worthy. You're worthy of this. I am capable. You're capable of this. Why aren't you capable of this? You're on this call right now. You're capable. I am deserving, but the most important thing is I am willing. You know, are you willing? Are you willing to do what other people won't do in order to get things and live like most people never will be able to live?
I get chill bumps when he said that, and I again just then when she said that, because you know we can all do this. It's not something that we can't do. We all have the same opportunity. We just have to be willing to do what it takes to get from point A to point B. So
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. So we are so excited that you guys came on tonight. We have had so much fun here, and we've learned from each other, even just the time that we've spent with each other, and we've had a great time, and we appreciate you guys hanging in with us on the call, and hopefully we will be able to share that. No, it's almost 10 o'clock their time, or some people's time. So we're going to go ahead and get off. If you guys have any questions, I posted a post in the Rockin' Group with the takeaways from tonight's call. If you will go post your takeaways from either call, the first one or the second one, we will put the links. I'll have Rod put the links to both calls in that post so that you guys can have access to it, and also in the Rockin' training videos so that you can have access to both calls. But if you have any questions about this call or anything else, put those in that post, and we'll answer those, you know, whenever we can. But we're very, very excited. Is somebody saying something? Heard some feedback. Is that Rod?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I'll post this thing. Do you want it posted tonight or tomorrow?
Whenever you have time to download it. I know sometimes it takes some time, but we can post it tonight or tomorrow. But if you guys would go post your takeaways in that post on the Rockin' Group, I really appreciate that. Rod, you can go ahead and stop the recording.